Okay, so basically structure charts are a symbolic representation of your subroutine or modular design, right? Flow charts is basically a symbolic representation of the your pseudocode, ठीक है? So इसके अंदर the subroutines, either that's a procedure or a function, will always come inside a rectangle, and the name of the subroutine will be inside. Now we know that subroutines can take parameters, right? And there are two types of parameters, either they are by value or by reference. If the parameters is any data type except Boolean, so it will have a empty circle. But if the parameter data type is Boolean, it will be a filled in circle. So by value parameter will only have an arrow going towards the subroutine, ठीक है? While the by ref parameters will have a two-faced arrows up and down, because by reference actually changes the argument that is passed as a parameter. So now only we know that the functions are the subroutines that return a value. So the return value goes upwards, ठीक है? If it's any other data type than Boolean, it will be an empty arrow. If it's a Boolean return value, it will be a filled in arrow, ठीक है? So ये clear हो गया? Okay. Now structure charts, apart from this thing, tells us other things as well. कि inside a code is the calling program. In the hierarchy, the calling program will always be on the top. ठीक है? If the calling program is calling subroutines inside a selection, so in the example I have used if else key selection, but this could have been select case key selection as well. So like in flowchart, the selection criteria conditions come inside the diamond. Here you will just place a diamond on the calling program, ठीक है? So if you noticed LMK or PQR, either one of them is called based on the value of X. ये clear है? So the calling program ABC has a parameter X, but calling program के कभी भी parameters you do not need to show in the structure chart. You only show the parameters of the subroutine it is calling. ठीक है? ये clear हो गया? No, you don't need to show the जो calling program है या headers के parameters इसमें, ठीक है? Iterative call के means कि a subroutine is being called inside a loop. Here I have used a while का loop, लेकिन this could have been any loop. So if you notice, the both subroutines are being called inside a loop. So this means कि this arrow will come on both the subroutines. अगर एक subroutine call हो रही होती तो खाली arrow उस वाली subroutine पे होता, ठीक है? But do you see that there are two subroutines being called? So that arrows come here, ठीक है? On both of them, ठीक है? ये देखो, ये दोनों पे आ रहा है. If it was calling one, तो फिर arrow खाली उसी के ऊपर होता. For example, ST अगर सब उसमें हो रही होती, loop में तो खाली इस पे होता, दूसरे के ऊपर कुछ ना होता. This clear? Okay. So now sequence of call, this is pretty easy. The sequence of call is basically it will always be from left to right. ठीक है? So that's the one that is called on the top will show on the left side, and next the right, and then the next one. ठीक है? ये clear है? So again I will repeat that the sequence of call means okay, in the sequence of the code, the subroutine that has been called first will appear on the left side, and so on. ठीक है? ये clear हो गया? So if you are asked the features of a structure chart, so can you tell me what are the things that it defines? Structure charts, what does it tell you about? Does it tell you about selection call? It tells you about the sequence of call. It tells you about iterative calls. It tells you whether the parameters are by value or by reference. It tells you whether the subroutine is a function or a procedure, because the function will always have a arrow going back to the calling program. ये clear हो गया? and it tells you get the parameters or the return value is boolean or not. Okay. And then the another thing that is very important, it tells you about the hierarchy of call. Okay, which one is the calling program? So the top one is always a calling program. So do I need to write the notes of the features, or the headings basically are the features of the structure chart? Ye clear ho gaya? Okay. So that's all the lecture for the structure chart. Iske ilawa, all it requires is a practice. So practice the targeted assignment for this one. Okay? So let's do that.